down to white nationalist rally. But what about Britain's past? Last year, Oxford students demanded the statue of colonial figure Cecil Rhodes should fall, but his presence still remains. So should Nelson's column be the next to be toppled? Long regarded as one of Britain's greatest military heroes, today one commentator described him as a white supremacist for vigorously defending slavery.
Well, with me now is Afua Hirsch, who wrote that Guardian article suggesting Nelson's column should come down, and Laura Perrins, who...
Yeah, column should come down. I don't disagree with that. But I see what, you know what's coming down is my way of life, my culture. And any time I open my mouth and try and defend my culture, I get called a racist, and there's nothing racist about me. I don't even acknowledge that word racism, because I'm a Hebrew. There's 12 different tribes in my family. So how can I be a racist? What I'm saying is, every time I open my mouth, I get called a racist by people that don't even know the culture of these islands. They think because they got invaded, they don't mention the hand of God. They don't mention any of this is God's will that people will get invaded. They don't mention that maybe they've transgressed God's laws. So here's what I'm saying. The Queen of England, she seems to me to be a prisoner. And what I'm on about is the Notting Hill Carnival and all these Reading festivals and people dying from drugs and all that. I used to take drugs. People take drugs unknowingly. They call them additives, but they're still drugs. They were made by sorcerers in a sorcerer's lab. So if you go to the Notting Hill Carnival this year, they're saying you can't stop the Notting Hill Carnival. It's 51 years old. Well, I'm all for things. My ancestors' way of life is on these islands is over 3,000 years old. My ancestors' way of life. We taught the British royal family how to behave as Christians. It was my ancestors who done that, and now we have all these foreigners coming in telling us that our way of life is not right, and that the Notting Hill Carnival supersedes whatever we're doing, and they work with the police. I'm starting to think that the Queen of England is being held a prisoner in these castles, and that it's actually a police state that they're propagating now to destroy my ancestral way of life. Because you see, there's like this fella calling himself the Khan, Sadiq Khan, and his mate in Galicia, in Gael land, saying he's not standing for the national anthem, and then you have like Stormzy saying that this and that about it, because it's a black event and all that. There's no such thing as a black event. That's a racist comment. It's an event, people having a party. It's not black nor white. It's a party. And I come across this all the time. I can't have any events. Gonna get me people out sucking their teeth at me, telling me not to be telling about Christianity, which is the Hebrew way on these islands. The Milesian way is 3,000 years old. It supersedes everything else on these islands. You don't walk onto the reservation and tell the chief of the Indians that he's not to do his this and he's not to do that. So why do they think they can tell me and mine that we can't do this and we can't do that? And who's this Khan? Who's the Khan? So they are propagating the police state on the slide. They're sending the soldiers off to fight in foreign wars that they're dying in, and while the soldiers are off abroad fighting and defending defending this place, you have people like Sadiq Khan and all propagating raves and all and drug taking. And then they get bigger every year and they become more numerous. That means they need more police. It's a building up of an army on the sly. That's what it is. So who gives the orders? Who gives the orders to the police? Well, I went up and asked him the other day and he said it's the Mayor of London. So there's some guy called Sadiq Khan. See, I'm Kala Khan, yeah. My ancestors are the Khans of Galatia. We even ruled Greece and the Roman Empire before all of that. It was us that established these lands, my ancestors. And now everyone's coming over and trying to take a piece of what's left of my lands. The lion, bold as lion, faithful and bold. The lion's awake. We're the lions. That's where the lion comes from. The English lions comes from the Rock of Cashel. The Ingalish man, home is his castle. And the guard Gauls, who are they? That you see on top of the churches. They're the Gauls. They're Oitilla. The Visigoth, my ancestor. You call, all mentioned in the Bible. And then we have these blow-ins coming over here telling us how to live my life. I went down and walked down on a march with a couple of people from Brixton, and they told me I was lucky that they were allowing me to walk down the road on a black man's march. I told them, you're in Galatia. My ancestors lived on these islands for thousands of years. You can't say that to me. You're on my reservation. With the Malaysians, with the military. There's 97 million of us coming home, and he's going to have to make room. And we're going to impose our culture. Because we're raising up the tribes. And the tribe is the Hebrew tribe we are. That's what we are, we're a Hebrew tribe. And we have Hebrew roots, and the Lord says he's going to put a sword against anyone that stands in our way. That's all there is to it. And if it turns out that the police state is blackmailing the British royal family in any way, shape or form, there's going to be hell to pay. There's nowhere down in London that has belonged to black people. And there's nowhere down in London that belonged to the white people. This place belongs to the tribes. And the tribes are of many different colours. So don't start sucking your teeth and giving all the races Johnny Big Bollocks, saying that this man, because his my skin and pigment is different than yours, can't walk down the fucking street. That's not the way I was brought up. So who's the racist? My mother, now my family never taught me to be racist. I got more racist abuse when I was a kid than any of us. I'm not a victim. We're not victims. So don't think it. There's 97 million of us and we need somewhere to live. And this is our home. And don't forget, we're not going to be on campaign for much longer. You don't want 97 million Irish people turning up in England and Ireland looking for fucking trouble, do you? You can't even handle a few traveller families when they kick off. So what are you going to do with our 97 million Irish screaming Milesians and screaming Ingales and French? Not very much. Know your place in the scheme of things. Heathens.